guys, welcome to my podcast, and today we're going to be discussing the topic of the Civil War through the eyes of the people. We are going to have 4 people that were present and did something during the Civil War, and our first person is a Union soldier named Ulysses S. Grant.
My name is Ulysses S. Grant.
Okay, so we're going to be asking you some questions based on your journey during the Civil War, but first we want to know what you do for your job.
I was a Union soldier during the Civil War. I ranged from preserving the Union to opposing slavery and fighting for liberty and equality. I saw it as a moral crusade against slavery, while my friends saw it as a war to save the Union. We also fought for ideas like liberty and self-government.
Okay, so now we have our first question. How did the war affect your daily life?
It affected my life both physically and psychologically. It shaped my daily life and the long-term consequences of the service I provided.
Okay, here goes another question. Do you think you played a vital role during the Civil War?
I feel that I and the rest of the Union soldiers played a very important role in winning the Civil War. Yeah, the Civil War.
Now a word from our sponsors. Upset stomach, diarrhea, yay Pepto-Bismol. Back at you.
Okay, continue.
We defeated the Confederate Army by preserving the nation and abolishing slavery. Our victory was due to a combination of factors, including a larger population, industrial advantage, and effective leadership.
Okay, thank you. Here we go with our third question. What kept you motivated during the Civil War with everything that was going on and everything that you were witnessing?
Many things kept me motivated, including a strong belief in preserving the Union, the desire to abolish slavery, and a sense of duty and honor, as well as religion, social support, and having the role in the spirits high.
Okay, here goes our first question and our last question. What were your thoughts on slavery, or what are your thoughts on slavery?
I saw slavery as a moral wrong, and I believe it needed to be abolished to achieve a lasting peace and preserve the Union.
Okay, thank you for your time. Bye, sir. So the next person on my podcast will be a Confederate soldier who was present during the Civil War, and his name is Robert Lee. Good morning. Okay, so the first question I want to ask you is, what do you do for your job?
I was a Confederate soldier, obviously, like you said, during the Civil War. We fought to defend the Southern ways of life. And this included the institution of slavery and the slavery states' rights. We also sought to preserve Southern cultures, institutions, and honor. I listed to protect my home and my family from invading Northern armies.
Okay, so the first question we're going to be asking you today is, how did the war affect your daily life?
The war affected my daily life because it led to hardship and routines that diverged greatly from the pre-war and from base routines and drills, marches, and camp duties, with moments of combat interspersed with periods of monotony and boredom. We also experienced shortage of supplies, diseases, and the physiology of toil.
Okay, our second question is, do you think you played a vital role during the Civil War?
Yes, I did play a vital role during the Civil War. We were the backbones of the Confederate States and the American military, and our actions were significantly impacted the war's course and outcome. Our contributions ranged from combat on the battlefield to the essential support of civilian population. We were instrumental in the Confederacy ability to resist the Union for 4 years.
Okay, what kept you motivated during the Civil War with everything that you had going on and everything that you witnessed?
Well, Confederate soldiers were obviously driven by a complex mix of motivation, including a desire to defend their homes and families. But belief in their own states' rights and liberty, and a strong sense of Southern nationalism and pride. They also felt a strong sense of duty in their comrades and communities.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on slavery?
My thoughts are, I view slavery as an integral part of the Southern society and a vital institution. And I don't personally own slavery, but I believe that slavery was done by the Union. And fighting for the Confederacy meant defending not only Southern independence, but also the social and economic order to the slaves.
Okay, thank you so much. Guys, these are the new Mother's Day Bippity Boppity Holly Golly shoes. They are very cute. and they have cute flower details just like your mama. And guys, they're very nice and soft, so buy them. Link in my bio. Okay, so the next person on my podcast is going to be a nurse who was present during the Civil War, and her name is Dorothy Dix. Good morning. Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you is, what did you do for your job?
I was a nurse during the Civil War. We cared for wounded and ill soldiers. We provided a range of medical and personal care, including tending to battlefields, performing basic sanitation, and offering emotional support to soldiers on the battlefield. Some of us also worked behind the scenes in hospital kitchens and laundries.
Okay, the first question is, how did the war affect your daily life?
The war affected the daily life because it gave us a lot of challenging conflicts, including working long hours in poorly equipped hospitals and unsanitary places. We also risked our own lives due to exposure to diseases and injuries, and we had to adapt to many circumstances that affected us for a long period of time.
Okay, next question. Do you think you played a vital role during the Civil War?
I most definitely played a vital role along with my fellow nurses because they would get sick sometimes due to the soldiers and the infections that they gained in their injuries, and also the way we did things affected the soldiers' performances too, and our role is very underestimated today. We provided essential medical care, emotional support, and practical assistance to wounded soldiers, even in the absence of formal being.
Okay, the next question is, what kept you motivated during the Civil War with everything that you had going on and all the things that you were experiencing and seeing with your own eyes?
What kept me motivated most during the war was that someday it would be over and that all our hard work would pay off, and seeing the soldiers healed again was what made me keep doing my work and being proud of myself, and it's what ended the war and helped the soldiers keep their lives.
Okay, last question is, what were your thoughts on slavery?
I don't support slavery because enslaved and formerly enslaved women were often used as nurses, and I don't really think that's right. While some nurses may have held personal views to slavery, our actions were shaped by the prevailing societal norms and the needs of war effort, and that's really what started the war. The slavery and the nurse and the woman being used as nurses without pay is what's wrong. So no, I do not support slavery.
Okay, thank you.
You too.
Hey kids, tell your mommies and daddies to pay up for these ugly sweaters. They're 30% off, and I'll give you candy. Okay, so the next person that's going to be on my podcast is a nurse that was present during the Civil War, and her name is Clara Barton. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you is, what did you do for your job?
So I was a civilian during the Civil War, and we civilians were on both sides, the Union and the Confederate side, and we played various roles supporting them during the Civil War. We helped them when they got hurt and everything because of the Civil War.
Okay, the first question we want to ask you is, how did the war affect your daily life?
So the Civil War impacted my daily life, causing economic hardship, social disruption, and significant emotional strain. In the South, the war led to widespread destruction, food shortages, and inflation. While in the North, while less physically impacted, civilians faced economic changes, shortages, and yeah.
Okay, the second question is, do you think you played a vital role during the Civil War?
I think I did play a very important role during the Civil War because it was very important, and because we supported both sides and we were able to support both.
Okay, the third question is, what kept you motivated during the Civil War with everything that you had going on?
What kept me motivated was a strong belief in the preservation of the Union and the education of slavery, fueled civilian support for the war effort, as well as strong communal bonds as a sense of duty to family and community also played a part in keeping me motivated.
And the last question is, what are your thoughts on slavery?
So my thoughts on slavery is that it's a violation as fundamental rights, and that I saw that it was too difficult or too disruptive to abolition, and I'm kind of neutral about it because I have never experienced it.
Okay, guys, this is the end of the podcast, and I just want to say that the Civil War is a very important topic. And as you guys saw, we interviewed 4 different people that were present during the Civil War, and they all had different jobs, going from a Union soldier, a nurse, to a civilian. Everybody had a different perspective, even though they were viewing the same problem and were present in the same war. They all had different perspectives and viewed the war differently. So that goes to say that just because you're in the same situation doesn't mean you're going to think the same about it. But thank you guys for listening, and who knows, maybe we'll do another podcast. Guys, it's time for bloopers! Okay, so the next person on my podcast is a nurse that was present during the Civil War, and her name is Dorothy Dick. Alliance! Come on,
I was
bro.
trying to do the thing before. Dorothy? I'm doing it. Right?
No, we're not doing that right now. You can be the sponsor. I'll tell you when to come in. But you can't have a sponsor that's like 10 minutes long of you singing this freaking single. You can have like a 10-second sponsor, okay? Hi guys, welcome to my podcast, and today we're going to be talking about the Civil War through the eyes of the people. We're going. What the sigma, bro?
My pillar covered.
Oh,
Got him too. Alright, there.
go crop face scooch.
My arm hurts.
I bet. So the next person is going to be a Confederate soldier that was present during the Civil War, and his name is Robert Lee.
Good morning, good morning.
Okay, so we're going to be asking you questions about your journey during the Civil War, but first we want to know what you did.
So during the war, I was a Confederate soldier during the Civil War.
Let me do this.
You can't use the same voice as. Okay, so the next person that's going to be on my podcast is a Confederate soldier. Okay, the next person that will be on my podcast is a nurse that was present during the Civil War, and her name is Dorothy Dix.
Get off of me.
Okay, so the next person that I will have on my podcast is a Confederate soldier who was present during the Civil War, and his name is Robert E. Lee.
Hey, I'm Robert E. Lee.
You're not Robert E. Lee. Move.
You're not Robert E. Lee. You're definitely not Robert E. Lee. I'm the Robert
Alright,
Okay,
so my
guys,
name
this-
is Robert E. Lee.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to be asking you is, what was your job during the Civil War?
Alright, so during the Civil War, I was a Confederate soldier, and I was like helping the Confederate states of America to stay protected from the Union.
Okay, so our first question is, how did the war affect your daily life?
Alright, the war affected my daily life because I had to be in the camps, then we had to be training like non-stop, and it was like a whole lot of work and stuff.
Okay, our second question is, do you think you played a vital role during the Civil War?
Yes, I think I played a vital role in the Civil War because we were like the backbone of like the Confederate states. So like we were basically like the ones that were helping us try to win the war. Yeah.
Okay. Our third question is, what
This is
kept
a
you-
quick sponsor of Skims by Kylie Jenner.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Our third question is, what kept you motivated during the Civil War, where everything that you had experienced and everything that you were witnessing with your eyes?
Alright, so like what like motivated me is that like, you know, all my boys, they were there for me, and like we were working hard, and like the outcome was gonna be crazy. Cause like, you know, we would have won the war, and then everyone would be like, it would be good.
Wesley! Your big head covered the thing!